a Ghanatube so modofo snow we masai so atena se aja konwa fefefe na ebusiafo se nya matena se de no se nsem ahodo bi enkoso ewo oman na intem pass no ye bekwa kutie ne ahwe nsem bi a enkoso ewo oman Ghana.
From controversy over ghost names to immediate suspension of the central management system over the integrity of the digital postings platform for national service personnel, what is next? Like I mentioned this morning, we're delving into the national service scheme and the efforts being made to sanitize the institution. Kojo Brace and I are here to steer the conversation, and our guest in studio this morning is the Deputy Director of the National Service Authority, Mr. Donko Hussaini. He joins us in studio for a brief conversation.
What led to the suspension? And now that you've done it, how are you going to go about it?
Okay, so this is the clarification. The CSMP, that is the Central Management Platform. Yes, you could say suspended, pending review. What it means is that this current system, we cannot use it to post. But then it doesn't mean personnel cannot register.
Okay.
You can still register. The system is still running. What is happening is that the DG, the Attorney General, and the IT experts from the presidency are reviewing all the protocols within the system.
Okay.
Now, to make sure that ghost names and all those things, that the suspicions of the whole system, the only thing that is up for discussion is the metric. Okay. Like if I put in my name, my Ghana card, there should be a way to authenticate that this Ghana card has not been used by CT or has not been used by another person. And Donko is also using the same thing. So the conversation or the argument is that that particular system is still being used. But then I think the miscommunication that went out there is that from 2018 to 2024, we were not using solely Ghana card.
Okay.
So people were using other forms of identification.
Okay.
But then now the only form of identification is the Ghana card.
Oh, okay.
So even if you miss one letter on your Ghana card and you enter wrongly your just one letter on the system rejects it. Because
does that explain why we hear some of the ghost names used cards other than the Ghana card?
Yes, because if you use the Ghana card, immediately our system goes straight to the Ghana card, Ghana NIA portal, which confirms that, okay, this Ghana card is correct. And it brings out the exact name on the card.
Okay.
So if you, the one inputting, you input a wrong figure or a wrong letter, immediately our system shuts you out.
Okay.
So I think that is the miscommunication that happened, and then there was a banter, and I think the presidency came in and said, listen, do the right thing.
So you are saying that now without a Ghana card, I cannot register?
No, not at all.
Who has control over the back end? Because I read that the back end was still being controlled by the developer of the app. Who has control of the back end?
Yeah, so National Service Authority contracted the developer to develop it for us. Only, let's say, about few people have access to the system. That is, if the school wants to upload their data, we grant them access to upload all the names and index numbers. It goes to the director of deployment. He does all the verifications. Then he forwards it to me. So I have to now check one by one and see all the names and all the figures that were brought out correct. Then I will approve that, okay, Legon has submitted, let's say, 21,000 names. Director General, I've gone through it, I've vetted it, and I'm approving them for your action. So it now goes to the Director General to also now generate the P's for this number. Okay, so the director says, I've uploaded, let's say, 132,000 names now. I've vetted all of them. I've approved all the schools. Mind you, schools that are not accredited by GTEC cannot be approved.
Yeah, okay. So at what point do these 3,500 graduates from about 22 schools, at what point in this processes that you just outlined, did they get booted out? So
our point is to take the names of schools that are accredited and candidates that have completed successfully their academic calendar and or let's say have graduated. So between the school and our inputting their names, if GTech says this particular school, Joy News, your accreditation has expired, it means that particular students coming from that Joy News school cannot be asked to go and do their service until the clearance is done. National service, we don't, excuse me to say, concern ourselves with accreditation because that is not our job. But the moment GTech writes to us and say Joy News accreditation has expired, it means the candidates coming from Joy News are not yet ready or qualified for national service.
Does the what's it called, PUSAC, the Private University Students Association, do they have this understanding? Have there been a formal communication? Because they're criticizing you over the, withholding the registration about 3,000. They say 3,600, but another portal report 3,500. How many actually?
Yeah, so there could be disparities in the figures because of the names that are submitted. The school could submit, let's say, 1,005. Maybe some students who are deferred were not maybe part yet. So the numbers can always vary.
So
but
they have very big issues with you.
Yes, they are genuine.
Yes, they haven't had any formal response.
So the point, that is why I'm trying to explain that it is not the mandate of the National Service Authority to be checking accreditations of schools. That is GTech. Unfortunately, these students were caught up in the web, or let's say in the crossfire, because the students, it's not their business to go and be checking whether the school is accredited or not. The school just says, okay, we are accredited. Come and pay your fees, we'll train you. They went and paid their fees. It's part of the fees that is supposed to be used for accreditation. So on the part of GTech, yes, I cannot hold forth for GTech, but then I think GTech has also not been fair to the students, because this thing should have been communicated before even our processes started.
What happens to them now?
So the only window of opportunity for the students is that they can apply as private, but then they cannot do it in the name of the school en bloc.
Okay.
And it's a bit strenuous. But
so if they apply as private, they have that opportunity.
Yes, of course. You have an opportunity for private, like you go and do your, let's say you go to a private school, maybe you skipped the national service this particular year, next year you want to do, you can enroll as a private candidate.
Okay.
And you'll be allowed. But then what we really want is, at least from now to 30th of June, there's a window of opportunity. So the schools still have a chance to resolve some of the issues with the GTech and get the students. We have all their data in our system. That was how come we're able to flag them anyway. So once GTech gives us the clearance that, listen, it has been resolved, their school has been accredited, immediately we roll them on.
Mr. Donko, the National Service Scheme and Authority have been a hot spot for news stories this entire year. It goes even as far back as last year, when the same Manasseh Azuri investigative journalist brought about this scandal about ghost names. You've just assumed office as Deputy Director of Operations. Tell me, what are the gaps that you've identified, for which reason we keep coming back to the National? So give me a comprehensive assessment of what you have seen that has been done, that you think you are going to do differently. Then we can begin to see where the loopholes are that we can plug.
Suti, I think the truth of the matter is that when my Director General and my sister Ruth took office, they went first before me. They started somewhere in February, before I got in around late March. So the first thing they did was to stop the use of all other forms of identifications, then rely solely on the Ghana card. So that immediately weeded out a lot of the fake IDs that were being used. So if you look at the figures now, you see that consistently from 2022, from 211,000, it has been coming down. Now it's around 132,000.
As in those who are already on it now?
Yes, those who have been
132,000.
Yes, that is what we are registered now. Even including the ones that have been suspended.
Okay.
So, one, the Ghana card is playing a very key role. Now, The second option is that the central management system now tracks and reports on every activity of every officer that goes in there. So, for example,
that didn't exist before?
No, the traces were not easily identified. But now, if I go in, at the time I went in, the activity that I did, once we go back again, it reports everything that happened. Donko came in at this particular time, he approved A, B, C, D. If I go in again and do anything, he came in at this particular time, he changed this. So now the system is able to do that. So it leaves prints for everything that you do there. If the director of deployment uploads this number of schools, and he has to upload the physical letterhead of the school as well. So when I go in there for the approval, what I do is I look at the numbers that have been given. Then I go and look at the number on the letterhead from the school signed by the registrar. If the registrar says I brought in 15,000 students from Legon, if I go through the list, I should be able to see exactly 15,000 students. Anything more, I have to query the registrar to explain to me why there was an addition.
So I mean, look, you are saying that now a lot of you have access to the back end. Because initially
we don't. Not all of us have the access.
Not all of you,
yes.
But at least you've mentioned
the DG, myself, director of deployment, and then the developer. And then the MIS. Yeah.
So 5 people have access to the back end.
Yes.
So it means that if there should be any ghost name in the system tomorrow, these 5 people should be.
If there is any ghost name, like I said, if Legon registrar or whoever is in Legon, we give him access to upload the names, and he uploads more than what is on the letterhead. The system now reports that, okay, at this time, Legon uploaded this number of people at this particular time. Finish. So when anybody else goes to put any addition to the Legon names, the computer reports to us that, okay, at this particular time, Donko Fuseni also went in and added this number to the number from Legon.
It wasn't so.
It wasn't so.
Now, as I sit here, my Ghana card, physically, I've misplaced. I can't find it.
Wow.
What I do have is the
soft copy.
Exactly.
Good.
So if I go to the bank and they ask for Ghana card, I only pull my phone and give them the soft copy.
Yeah.
Is that acceptable?
Once you input the numbers,
okay,
it will pull out your whole detail.
Oh, okay. So you don't require the physical card?
No, it's not a physical card.
It's the number you
What happens after the card is that we also take a physical picture. So even if you are using your phone to do the registration, at a point, we will require you to use that same phone to take a picture of yourself. So the moment you open and you are taking a picture of yourself, we get your live biometrics at that moment where you are.
Okay.
So that is where the system captures it. So it's not that you go and take a passport picture and scan it.
Okay.
No. Whilst you are registering, it gets to a point, the final point is that if you are using a laptop, we'll ask you to take a picture.
With a laptop?
With a laptop.
Okay.
So once you open and you are taking that picture, the system is able to detect whether you are a robot or you are entering for somebody.
Okay.
Because at that moment, we require the physical presence of the person.
So if I don't have a Ghana card at all, because we know there are some people who don't have, what can that person do?
Seriously, I'm sorry for you.
You can't say.
No.
But sincerely speaking, without a Ghana card, it will be difficult for you.
Okay.
Because that is how we've built the system. Now it is either your Ghana card or you are not ready for a deployment this year.
Yo, me na masese mo je asopa na mutie na afin so mo tan ehwe fa o comment comment section na menkin kan emfa mo fefefe aha eye Ghanatube so mo dofo snowy ene de nsem ne ebrem on subscribe ya subscribe na afin so fa onsa emi notification bell no se ne be ya se me de nsem ne tuma na onya ne etempa so sisi ade makram.